हेलो। आज हम वेक्टर सब स्पेस स्पैन्ड बाय ए गिवन सिस्टम ऑफ वेक्टर्स के बारे में चर्चा करेंगे। इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस वी कंसिडर कैपिटल X, Y, Z be any three vectors of V3. The set S of all vectors of the form Lx plus My plus Nz, where L, M, N are any scalars, is a subspace of V3. For if L1x plus M1y plus N1z and L2x plus M2y plus N2z be any two members of subspace S, then by adding these two, L1x plus M1y plus N1z in one bracket plus in another bracket L2x plus M2y plus N2z is equal to, it may be written as L1 plus L2x plus in bracket M1 plus M2y plus N1 plus N2z, and let it be equation number 1 is also a member of S. Also, if K be any scalar, then by multiplying by K in bracket L1x plus M1y plus N1z, it may be written as equal to KL1x plus KM1y plus KN1z, and let it be equation number 1, or it may be equation number 2, and this is again a member of S. Thus we see that subspace S is a vector subspace, and we may say that S is spanned by the vectors X, Y, Z. Means addition and multiplication property holds up. Thus if we see that if x1, x2 up to xr be a set of R fixed vectors of Vn, then the set of all n vectors of the form p1 x1 plus p2 x2 plus and so on plus pr xr, where p1 p2 up to pr are any scalars, is a vector subspace of Vn, and this vector subspace, it is important to note that this vector subspace is said to be subspace spanned by the vectors xr, x1, x2 up to xr. Thus a vector space which arises as a set of all linear combinations of any given set of vectors is said to be spanned by the given vectors. Once again, the important note, a vector space which is the set of vectors, a vector space which arises is a set of all linear combinations of any given set of vectors is said to be spanned by the given vectors. This is very important. Now we will discuss basis and dimension of a subspace. A set of vectors x1, x2, xk which belongs to subspace S is said to be a basis of S. Once again, a set of vectors x1, x2, xk belonging to subspace S is said to be the basis of S if the following property holds. Number 1, the subspace is spanned by a set of vectors x1, x2, xk. It means we have a combination of any given set of vectors, and second, the vectors x1, x2, xk are linearly independent. Means k1 x1, k2 x2 up to k xk are equal to 0. That means all constants are equal to 0. Thus, basis of S will hold if subspace is spanned by a set of vectors and the vectors are linearly independent. If these two properties hold, then the given system of vectors is called to have the property of basis. Note 1, it can be shown that the vectors e1, that is 1 0 0 0, e2 0 1 0 0 0, e3 0 0 1 0 0, and so on, en is equal to 0 0 0 1 constitute a basis of Vn. Here we know that e1, e2, e3 up to so on en are linearly independent, and you have practiced it for e1, e2, e3. You know that e1, e2, e3 are linearly independent. Similarly, it can be proved that e1, e2 up to en are also linearly independent. Now, moreover, any vector x which is equal to x1, x2, xn, small x1, x2, xn, which is the element of the vector x of Vn is expressible as, means it may be expressed as x1 e1 plus x2 e2 plus so on plus xn en. Hence the vectors x1, x2, xn constitute a basis of Vn. Okay. Now we will prove some theorem. A basis of a subspace can always be selected out of a set of vectors which spans S. Once again, a basis of a subspace S can always be selected out of a set of vectors which span S. Proof is very simple. If x1, x2 up to xr be a set of vectors which spans a subspace S, if these vectors are linearly independent, then they constitute a basis of S as they can span S. If they are linearly dependent, then some members of the set of vectors is a linear combination of the other vectors. This is the property. And after deleting this member, we obtain another set of vectors which also spans S. Continuing in this manner, we shall ultimately, in a finite step of in a finite number of steps, arrive at basis of S. Means if we continue in this manner, then we will arrive at basis of S. Now here one thing is very important, that is a vector subspace may possess several bases. We will prove this by taking one example. For example, if x1 is equal to 1 0 0, x2 is equal to 0 1 0, and x3 is equal to 0 0 1. Similarly, y1 is equal to 1 1 1, y2 is equal to 1 1 0, and y3 is equal to 1 0 0. Then x1, x2, x3 constitute a basis of V3. The number of members in any one basis of a subspace is the same as in other bases. Okay. The number of members in any one basis of a subspace is the same as in other bases. And this number is called the dimension of the subspace. And you know that one basis of Bn possesses n members. Thus, every basis of Bn must possess n members. Thus, Bn is of dimension n. Similarly, the dimension of B3 is 3. Now, consider note. It can be shown that if R be the dimension of a subspace S, and if x1, x2, xk be a linearly independent set of vectors belonging to S, then we can always find vectors xk1, xk plus 1, xk plus 2 up to xr such that the vectors x1, x2 up to xk, xk plus 1 up to so on xr constitute a basis of S. Now we will consider row rank and column rank of a matrix. In order to understand this, we consider a matrix A just like A is equal to Aij, be any M cross N matrix. Okay, means M is row and N is column, and each of M rows of matrix A consist of n elements. Okay, therefore the row vectors of A are n vectors, means row vector will have n elements. These row vectors of A will span a subspace R of Vn. This subspace R is called the row space of the matrix A, and the dimension r of R is called the row rank of A. Means dimension is the rank of A, and this is the row rank of A. In other words, the row rank of a matrix A is equal to the maximum number of linearly independent rows of A. That is, the row rank of a matrix A is equal to the maximum number of linearly independent rows of matrix A. Now we consider left nullity of a matrix. If X is a m vectors written in the form of a row vector, then the matrix product XA is defined. It means XA, X and A may be multiplied. The subspace S of Vm, that means each vector have m element. The subspace of Vm generated by the row vectors X belonging to Vm such that XA is equal to 0 is called the row null space of the matrix A, and the dimension small s of S is called the left nullity or row nullity of the matrix A. Means the dimension which is small s is called left nullity or row nullity of the matrix A. Now here is one note. The sum of row rank and the row nullity of a matrix is equal to the number of rows. Means sum of row rank and row nullity is equal to the number of rows m. Now we consider column rank of a matrix. Let A is equal to Aij be any m cross n matrix. Each of n columns of A consists of m elements. Okay. Therefore, the column vectors of A are m vectors. Means will have each vector m members. These column vectors of A will span a subspace C of Vm, and the subspace C is called the column space of the matrix A, and the dimension C, small c, of the C is called the column rank of matrix A. In other words, column rank of a matrix A is equal to the maximum number of linearly independent columns of A. So this is all about of today lecture. Next topics will be discussed in the next lecture. Okay, thank you.